Then jumping into AI. Tuck tuck. Scene 3. I was wiser now. I knew I went into a field with less demand. So I went into a field with unlimited demand. In 2015, 2016 time frame, everybody were like, AI is the future. AI, even now, even in 2020, people say AI is the future and AI is going to be the next big thing. And people like Google CEO and different companies say like, we believe in AI. That's why we are starting this AI school, this AI that, this AI that. Unlimited demand. This time I'll not make this mistake. I'll get into the right field. So 1.5 years in AI. And I realized that most of the demands were in startups, who were trying to get funds because VC was cool. VC money was getting into AI, so people were trying to do AI, but no one had data. To do real AI, you need to have real data, massive amount of data, which only big companies have. Companies who harvest your data. I don't want to name any company here, but you know which company I'm talking about, right? Or which companies I'm talking about, right? So they harvest data, and that's why they have real data, and then they do a lot of AI work there. But small startups, the biggest problem they have is they don't have data in India. So if some CEO, someone says, we are doing AI and we are changing the face of, mostly they are creating chatbots, which is not AI. But then it gets funding, so why not? So yeah, we left the cushion job of US and we are doing something like this. We are doing AI in India. Ask them, how much data do you have? How many people are using your chatbot? What's the feedback loop? And then you will see suddenly they shift uncomfortably. But then again, I was a fool that time. And big companies who have data, companies who have real AI labs, companies who have real money to put into it. AI is a costly field because you have to run a lot of simulations right there. So, and they were not hiring graduates. Like if you come to Microsoft or if you go to Google or any good company and you want to work in AI, chances are you would be a data engineer rather than a data scientist. There is a difference. So when people say I work in AI in company X, ask them whether you are a data scientist or a data engineer. Again, define your day job. Do you come and clean data and scrub features, or do you actually work on algorithms and improve their accuracy? I think which I realized was, research. There is a lot of money in AI. There's a lot of demand in AI, but the demand and the money is on the research side, and it's concentrated on in few companies, in few groups, in few startups. It's not a generic thing. So research versus application. The application of AI does not have that much money. Like scikit-learn or PyTorch will not get you a lot of money in industry today. This I realized. So I got out of this. You see, I have always been lucky. So I make mistakes, but Lord Ram, he is merciful, so he takes me out of it. So I left Cisco because I was so convinced that AI will work. I left Cisco. I went to work for an AI startup. That startup got shut down, by the way. That's a different story. Shouldn't be laughing about it. But so I went and worked to work on AI in a startup, but they were pivoting. They pivoted after I joined. After 2 months, they pivoted. They were trying because no money, so they were trying to pivot, and they wanted some web development work done. And that's the first time, I think, in 2017 February. That's the first time I did serious web development. I had some experience, again, doing freelancing work on the side and all of it. Sometimes I made web apps for Cisco, for Cypress as well, but I was never an expert, to be honest. So I said I'll do it, no problem, and I learned everything: React Router, Redux, everything. I set up a Webpack, everything. There was no Create React app when I was doing this, and I had to set up everything. And thank God I had to do everything because I learned a lot, even though I burned candles from both ends. It worked. So luck again. I get stuck, and sometimes someone comes and gets me out. And this is where Microsoft happened. 2017 February, I started serious web development. 2017 October, I get a call saying, "Hey, we are Microsoft. We want to hire you." That's a different story. And then Microsoft happened from there. Mistake number 3: understanding where the real demand is. Real demand is boring. Real demand does not get sorry, not interviews, does not get headlines, because it's boring. It's business, day-to-day business, everyday business. And it does not get VC hype, because VCs need to find a new thing every year. One year they find AI, next year they find VR, next year they find blockchain. Every year they find something new to invest, to make money. And the reason 1 out of 20 startups make it, because nobody knows the game. They're all playing the odds. Okay. Again, this will infuriate a lot of people, but true. If a VC can come and tell me that I know this X startup will do big, and that's why I am betting this money on it, then I am ready to be proven wrong. But the reason they diversify their portfolio, they try different things, is because they are also trying to see what works in market. And that creates a lot of hype, because that the year when blockchain was up, I remember everybody was doing blockchain startups. Suddenly every startup was pivoting how to get blockchain into the market and how to get that VC money. So that I understood that VC hype is fake. There's this real demand, and then there is VC demand, which a lot of you also guys get into and say, Tane, what can I do with blockchain? I'm like, nobody's using blockchain, don't do it. But then again, who listens to me? I'm a fool. So let's do a quick revision of my mistakes. First mistake was depending on college education too much. Second mistake was going after what I felt was cool. And third mistake was failure to differentiate, real from hype, whatever, hype from reality, things like that. These were the 3 mistakes of my engineering life. I have become wiser since then. Or maybe I'm making mistakes and I'll become wiser even more. So I became wiser. There's this saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I was fooled thrice. So definitely shame, poppy shame on me. Okay. So I hope you guys are also laughing, because otherwise, if I laugh on my own jokes, it looks very sad. Scene 4, Tane gets into web dev. Why? Because it looks simple. I had burnt my fingers, right? The same thing. In Hindi it says कि दूध का जला छाछ भी फूक फूक के पीता है. And I was तो जला from छाछ only. So I was fooking even water now. So I went into web dev. Why? It looks simple. There's no coolness. Nobody is cool because he's a web developer. I do web, like I do React. Okay, I do VR. Dude, can you tell me about? I have this $1 million idea. I'm looking for a co-founder. If you can make that VR app, we'll be billionaires by the end of today. So web, Wix can do it. WordPress can do it. Shopify can do it. Everybody can do it. There's this problem around web. When people say I'm a web developer, other people think that you are developing websites or you are doing WordPress, blogs. A real web developer's job is not like that. A real web developer works on complicated products like Teams, like Outlook, like Facebook, like Figma, like whether I should take that name or not. Let me think. Okay, I'll take. Like that other chat app, which is, Teams competitor. Okay, I'll take the name. Slack, like Slack. So web developers don't work on Wix and WordPress and Webflow are aimed at marketers. Understand the difference. People who want to market stuff, not create real valuable products. So it looks simple. So first mistake, no coolness. I don't want coolness. There's zero respect. People think that web development is not hard enough, and they want to do backend, they want to do AI, they want to do something which is tough, which would mean like they are real engineers, and things which has scale. So you read about that database, DynamoDB paper, and then Kafka, and you read about Redis, and you think, oh my God, these are real programs, because these programs are fault tolerant and they follow all the all the principles of distributed systems. So you'll read about these things, and you feel like, if I am not doing this, am I a real engineer? You are not. There's zero respect for web development. So I chose that field. Again, there's zero VC interest in this. No company ever got funded because their website was shiny. Like, let me put like, let me give 10 million funds because I like their website, or I like their web app because it's made in React or Vue or Angular. Nobody cares about that when they are getting VC funding. So you don't see any hype talking about these technologies. You don't see hype about React or Vue or Angular or React Native, because VCs have zero interest. They don't care about it. So I said, I want to do this because I had burnt my fingers before. Why did I do web? Honest opinions. Honest opinions time. See, the whole industry today is moving towards web. And I'll tell you examples. Desktop apps, automation libraries like once upon a time, there was all testing was being done, all web testing was done using Java. Okay. And there was this famous library for it, which I seem to forget. Selenium. But now things are moving towards Cypress. Microsoft is putting a lot of money into Playwright to get it successful. And it's one of the trending libraries today. Why? Because the next thing for automation, at least for the front-end automation, is again JavaScript, TypeScript. Mobile apps, we'll talk about it. And then obviously web apps, because web has to move towards web. Where would they move? Internet is the biggest platform. Today, if you talk about users spending their time on platforms, number one is internet. And internet browser only understands JavaScript. It's the only language which browser understands. You can do 10 other languages. You can do Python. You can do any other language, but Python wouldn't run on your laptop. What this means is you cannot create interactive applications. You can do server-side application. You can say, but sir, Python does Django. Yes, it can do Django, but those are server-side applications wherein you generate things on server. You cannot make it interactive. Like, think about, you click on Facebook and then you type something. You say, what's on your mind? My mind is that Tane is wasting my time. And then you click on post. And then it goes to server. And then it comes back with a new page, says your post is done. That is like Web 2.0, pre-Web 2.0 days, right? Where Ajax was not a thing. So you cannot do things like that anymore. And if you don't want to do things like that prehistoric things, then you have to learn JavaScript. And you have to create apps using JavaScript or TypeScript. That's the only language. And it's the biggest platform. So that's why people are moving towards web. Desktop today is third. And Electron is winning this. Already, I think any of the new apps, if you think about any of the new apps, you think about Figma, you think about Slack, you think about Teams, you think about the new Xbox app. All of these apps are either on Electron or React Native desktop. And I'll tell you why. The reason for this also, I'll tell you. Wait for a second. I'm just telling you how the shift is happening. The reason for the shift will come soon. Mobile is second, right? Mobile web JavaScript is not that big. I'll be honest with you, but it's not that small either. React Native is growing. A lot of apps are in React Native, because if you write on React Native, you can write once and run it for Windows. Yes, it can run for Windows, but on mobile, it can run for Android and iOS both. And Progressive Web App, if you don't know about it, PWA is a strong candidate. And there are PWAs for Google Maps, for Starbucks, for Flipkart, for LinkedIn. And many other big companies have invested so much time on PWAs that has become like a second nature. And PWA is completely, you know, uh, front end front end app, which is JavaScript. You cannot write a PWA in Python. You cannot write a PWA in PHP. You cannot write a PWA in Java. You cannot do that. No, you can't. No, you can't. So you need to know JavaScript. So top three platforms: internet, mobile, desktop. All three platforms can be used by JavaScript, by React Native, Vue, all of these things. Think about it. Let that sink in for a second. Why is web growing? So we established that web is growing. That why is web growing? Are companies fool? No. The bigger reason is that companies understood over the time that DevOps is a real thing. DevOps mean that you keep pushing new code every other day, right? You ship daily. Every day you get a new update. You don't have to remember. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a time when it would say, we have a new update for you. Click here to install. Or even now, in some of the legacy apps, it says, we have a new, give us time tonight and we'll update it for you. Today, if you go to linkedin.com, you see a new UI, you see changes here, you see changes there. Nobody asks for your permission these days to ship you new things, right? Why do you want to ship daily? Because it makes your customer happy. There was so much buzz when LinkedIn did it. There is so much buzz when any new app comes up. We shipped Outlook, the new version, and customers were super happy. And then we started shipping more features on top of it, and customers were even more happy. And it gives you delight. It also tells you that you can run experiments. Sometimes customers wouldn't be happy, and you would take that feature out very easily. Instead of, hey, we have shipped the new update, why don't you go to Play Store and click on 5 buttons to get the new update, or things like that. So you don't have to do that. Web may you can the time to market and the time to remove from market also is very fast. There's a reason in e-commerce website, web apps, in e-commerce apps also, the checkout pages are web. They are embedded inside the web, inside the, what do you call, inside the mobile application, inside the native application. Because if there is any mistake in checkout, if there's any problem with checkout, you can quickly fix that. You won't have to wait for a download, an update download. So it fixes problem fast. That's why people are moving towards web. And you don't have enough devs. The problem which even we are facing in Microsoft is we do not have enough front-end devs. We do not have enough JavaScript, TypeScript, good engineers who want to do passionately web. So what we are doing is inside Microsoft, I myself have trained people who have moved from back end to front end, because more and more of the projects are moving towards front end. Even masters, people who have done masters in AI are fixing. This is a joke, by the way, don't take it seriously, but they are working on web development. And you would find so many people, like, talk to your seniors who have gone and done masters in US, and ask them what's their day-to-day job is, and ask them how many did graduation, like post-graduation in AI, and how many landed in a job which is post-graduation, which uses their skill. Okay, please do that. Don't listen to me. Please collect your own data, and don't collect 1% or 2% or 10% data. Collect 20 people data, and then you will know that what I'm saying is truth. And companies are looking for talent desperately. I'm not sure whether you know this or not. Cracking a backend interview, cracking a software engineer STE interview is very tough in Google and Facebook, and in Microsoft as well. It's not easy to get in, because everybody is doing that competitive programming. Everybody is doing that. I did lead code, 500 questions on lead code, 800 questions on lead code. How will you compete with that? But in Google, in Facebook, and some parts of Microsoft as well, there is a separate track for UI. You can go as a UI engineer. You will be asked domain related questions: JavaScript, browser, internet, web, these things. that you'll be asked this. Because everybody is looking for people. And I mean, you think about Google, right? You think about Google, the entire business model of Google is on web. Everything which you see, Google business, your workspace, everything is web. You think about Facebook, web. Microsoft is also moving towards web. You think about Teams, it's completely a web app. It's completely web app. It's packed into Electron and it's given as a desktop app. But it's when you go to microsoft.teams.com and you install something, or you use it on browser, you are using the same app, you're using the same code. So the idea that you can use the same code as a web app, as a desktop app, as a mobile app also. We do a lot of code sharing when we are using React Native. The work which I'm currently doing in Microsoft, we are making the search experience, people search experience, and that search experience will work on 6 platforms, not 1, not 2, 6 platforms. We are using React Native for that. Not 1, not 2, 6. It will work on iOS, it will work on Android, it will work on different desktops. Their desktops also are different, right? And it will work on web. All of it, Mac OS, Windows UXP, all of this. A lot of work is going on there. So the thing which I'm trying for you to understand is there's a lot of demand because there's a lot of cross-platform code sharing, and companies want to code share. They don't want. The problem with having for different platform, different app is that some app will try some feature, people would love it on that platform, and then other platform like Mac OS does not have this. I don't like this. When is this coming on Mac OS? When is this coming on that OS? When is coming on that OS? Doing web, you can ship fast and you can ship the same code in different places. So understand why web is important, because it's business, it's making money. One last thing which I want to say is my perspective for a career guy is you make a bright career as a programmer. Don't pigeonhole yourself as I want to be VR, I want to be blockchain, I want to be AI guy, I want to do XYZ. No, you want to do programmer and be a programmer, and wherever there's demand, wherever there's a chance to change millions and millions of life at once, you take that chance. You take that chance. Simple as that. Today, if I work on Teams or I work on Outlook or I work on Search, not millions, billions of people may be going to use that software. That is an amazing opportunity as a software engineer to have. Think about it. That's an amazing opportunity to change people's life. When there was pandemic, we were supporting Outlook. I was into Outlook. I was in Outlook team then I just changed the team recently. And we knew how much impact we were making with Outlook, with Teams, with different products. And all of this, by the way, we are doing it in India, in Bangalore center. So if you are looking into things like that, please be passionate about being a programmer first. Don't worry about what is cool, what is not, what is hot, what is not. Understand these things. My whole talk was to make you understand business, that business drives tech, not the other way. And if you don't understand that, then you'll be a fool like me, like how I was for the better part of my career. I think I have become wiser, and that's why I have shared all of this. Revision, because a good teacher always does this. Don't depend on college 100%. Be your in charge. Don't buy into coolness. Don't buy into VC hype, and be flexible with your career. If you can see one thing is that be flexible. Just because you landed up in a domain where you feel locked in, where you don't feel you have enough work to do, enough impact to create, change that domain. It's a long career. We are playing a 40-year, 30-year game, and first 2 years, first 3 years, first 5 years would not make or break anything. Okay. Thank you. If you want to learn web, I teach online. Just Google Tanay Pratap. You will find all the links. Everything is there. Or just follow me here at Tanay Pratap, Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub, Instagram, YouTube. Follow me, don't follow me. That's not a problem. The point I'm trying to make is understand that your career is very important for you. So other people might try to fool you. Other people might try to sell something to you, but you have to be smart about it. Don't make mistakes like I did. Make new mistakes at least. Hello, thanks for watching the video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. डू एवरीथिंग। आपका कुछ नहीं जाता, बट मुझे बहुत खुशी मिलती है जब आप लोग लाइक करते हैं, कमेंट करते हैं, शेयर करते हैं, और सब्सक्रिप्शन तो बढ़ना ही चाहिए भाई, बढ़ना ही चाहिए। सो डेफिनेटली लाइक दिस। ओके, बाय।